In the heart of Riyadh, beneath a sky lit with gold and fire, the kingdom prepared for a night carved into history. The arena pulsed with electricity long before the fighters even stepped toward the stage. Fans from Mexico, Britain, and every corner of the globe filled the stands, flags waving like battle standards in the desert wind. This wasn't just a boxing event. It was a spectacle of pride, identity, and destiny. The lights dimmed, and the sound of drums rumbled through the halls, echoing like distant thunder. Each spotlight sweep revealed faces painted in anticipation, some shouting in Spanish, others chanting English war cries, but all united under the same roof, all waiting for violence wrapped in artistry. Gilberto "Zurdo" Ramirez rose in the tunnel, towering, a man reborn at Cruiserweight, carrying the hopes of millions who believed his redemption story had one final chapter left to write. On the opposite side, Billam-Smith marched with the cold focus of a soldier, the cut of a champion carved into every line of his face. No smiles, no hesitation, just purpose. The gentleman had crossed oceans for this night, determined to defend the identity he built, punch by punch, scar by scar. As flames shot upward around the stage and the announcer's voice rattled the building, both men stepped into the spotlight. Two giants, two nations behind them. The desert fell quiet the moment the opening bell cracked through the air. Billam-Smith surged forward like a man determined to seize the first word of the story. His jab fired repeatedly, sharp as an arrow, striking Ramirez's guard and forcing the Mexican giant backward. The crowd gasped as the Brit dug a right hand to the ribs, then another, each one thudding with the weight of a man who came to make a statement. But Ramirez, slow-burning and calculating, studied him with the eyes of a veteran. Zurdo absorbed the early pressure, letting the rhythms of the fight seep into his body. He flicked a left hand, just a tester, yet even that light touch rattled through Billam-Smith's stance. The feeling-out process became a chess match soaked in violence, one man applying heat, the other waiting for the moment to strike. As the minutes passed, the Mexican's feet glided. A rhythm whispered into his bones. Billam-Smith threw a hook. Zurdo slipped it and fired a straight left down the pipe that landed with a crack that shifted the mood of the arena. Suddenly, the Brit felt the danger. Ramirez wasn't just warming up, he was awakening. Still, the champion answered every shot with fire of his own, pushing forward, crowding the challenger, making the ring feel smaller and smaller. Sweat flew, gloves collided, and the air filled with the sound of leather smashing into flesh. These early rounds weren't just a start. They were the ignition of a storm. Two men establishing territory, two wills colliding. The battle had officially begun, and neither warrior intended to blink first. By the fourth round, the tone of the fight shifted dramatically. Ramirez, fully settled into his rhythm, began dictating the space between them with surgeon-like precision. Every step, every angle, every feint pushed Billam-Smith toward danger. A snapping left hand found its home on the Brit's jaw, whipping his head to the side and drawing a gasp from the crowd. Then another left came, this time spinning sweat into the lights like glittering shrapnel. Billam-Smith tried to smile it off, a warrior's instinct to pretend, but the wobble in his legs betrayed the truth. He was hurt, and Ramirez could see it. Zurdo pressed forward with cold focus, launching combinations that crashed. A razor-like left hand ripped across Billam-Smith's eye, splitting the skin open. Blood trickled first, then streamed, painting his cheek red as the round continued. The referee glanced toward the cut. The doctor looked on with concern, and the British corner suddenly felt urgency rising like water in a sinking ship. But Billam-Smith did not back down. He charged forward again, fighting with a fury born from pride, landing a right hand that briefly halted Ramirez's advance. Still, Zurdo's response was merciless, a counter left that snapped the champion's head back once more. The bell ended the round, but the shift was clear. The tide had turned, and it was turning blood red. Ramirez had found his groove. Billam-Smith had found himself in deep water, and the middle rounds descended into a test of human limits. Ramirez, now in full command, boxed with a confidence that bordered on beautiful. He pivoted off angles, slipped punches by inches, and sent left hands drilling into Billam-Smith's ribs and jaw with machine-like efficiency. Each shot added another layer of punishment, slowing the champion, sapping the strength from his legs. Yet Chris Billam-Smith refused to fold. With blood streaming from the cut above his eye, with his breathing growing rapid. But each time the officials considered intervention, Billam-Smith threw something meaningful. A punch that screamed, "Don't stop this fight, not yet." Ramirez continued investing in the body, those crushing body shots landing with thuds that sounded like someone slamming a bat against a wall. They were the kind that break ribs, break wills, break dreams. But the gentleman swallowed each one, standing tall even when his legs trembled. By the 9th round, the arena understood they weren't just witnessing a title fight. They were witnessing a man push past the boundaries of pain and pride. Billam-Smith was losing the war, but he was winning hearts. And Ramirez, technical and relentless, continued applying the kind of pressure that warns the end may be near. Still, the Brit would not go down. He chose to fight until the world disappeared. When the 12th round began, both men rose from their stools like ghosts dragged back from the edge. Ramirez walked forward with the air of a man who knew victory was within reach, yet respected the danger still standing across from him. Billam-Smith, battered, bloodied, vision blurred, carried only one mission into those final 3 minutes: go out on his shield. He unleashed everything he had left: hooks, overhands, wild surges of energy that defied the pain. Each strike carried the desperation of a champion unwilling to surrender his crown. Ramirez absorbed the storms with composure, stepping back, firing sharp counters, landing left hands that echoed like drumbeats across the arena. His accuracy was stunning, his timing flawless. But still the Brit came. Still he forced exchanges in the center of the ring, swinging with the final embers of his soul. The last 30 seconds became chaos, 2 warriors trading leather, one fighting for triumph, the other fighting for identity. When the bell finally rang, both men froze in place, chests heaving, blood dripping, minds half lost in exhaustion. The arena erupted. They had survived the war. They had earned each other's respect. As they waited for the judges, silence washed over the crowd like a tide. Then the announcement came, rattling the building. Gilberto "Zurdo" Ramirez was the new unified WBA and WBO Cruiserweight champion. The Mexican giant lifted his arms to the heavens, drenched in sweat, redemption and glory finally colliding in one triumphant roar. Billam-Smith nodded with dignity, a fallen king who fought like a legend. In that desert arena, under the Riyadh lights, the world witnessed more than a title change. They witnessed courage, brutality, artistry, and the birth of a new cruiserweight king. The desert would remember this night forever.